that, and I'm assuming she is. I'm sure I'll get a text from her as well. And I didn't hear that Heidi. Oh, there's Heidi. So everyone should be here.
Timing. All right, are we ready to begin then? Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'll call the October 2021 meeting of the North Liberty Library Board of Trustees meeting to order. Does anyone have any additions or changes to the agenda this month? No, okay. And did everyone get a chance to look over the September minutes?
Yeah, sorry, those were not in the packet. I added them.
Yep, I saw the late email. So does anyone want to make a motion to approve those?
I will make a motion to approve my minutes.
Thank you, Scott. And a second?
I'll second.
Mike? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. All right, so moved. Now we have our staff introduction. It looks like we have Melanie and Danny here.
Hi, this is Melanie, the marketing engagement coordinator, and I have Danny with me tonight, and she is our library services and marketing assistant. So she has been a great help with marketing, and I've loved having a staff person who has time to assist with marketing and furthering that. So I will let Danny introduce herself and get things started.
Hi, I'm Danny. So a lot of my position, I work really closely with Melanie on marketing, and I work closely with the programmers as well, just getting our content out there. A lot of social media, making signs, displays. I also work in TikTok a lot. I help write blog posts. I've been working on staff takeovers, which is sort of introducing the staff to the public in a social media venue, if you will. And I take a lot of photos so that we have, some memories and some records of our programs. I do have a little presentation, although now I am trying to share my screen and I am not finding that. So let's see.
I can try to share it if you can't, Danny.
Let's try that because I am just not finding an option for it.
At the very bottom of the Zoom window, there should be a green button that says share screen. Hopefully it's on yours.
Do you see it, Danny?
Danny, if you don't see it, I can try to share it.
Are you able to do it, Melanie? Oh, she's getting it. All right.
All right, Danny, are you still there? Uh-oh, did we lose her? Danny. I am not sure where she went. I can kind of skip forward to the portion I was going to talk about. Let's see, I just got to move down here a little bit. And talk about some of the things that we have been able to work on. Having Danny here has allowed me to kind of move forward and work on some things that have been on the back burner, such as the library newsletter. Oh, she's back. Okay, I'll let her go. Just a second.
Sorry, I don't know why it was acting like that.
Okay, I'll let you go,
Okay.
Danny.
Thank you so much for bringing it up. So just to introduce you guys to some of our active programming right now, I have appreciated being able to help with some pandemic friendly active programming, because even when people are in the library, we don't necessarily want a ton of close physical contact or anything. So some of the active programming that we've been able to do is we've done our chalk portrait challenge. So people could submit their own little chalk art with their kids or their pets or whoever from home. And then we randomly selected winners, and then they got gift cards as prizes. And then you may recognize the Sudoku. So that was another thing where people could just come in, interact with it a little bit. That's actually that was Amy's idea and execution, so they did a great job on that. And then if we want to head to the next slide. Right now, so this is still in progress. People could take a square portion of a mural, fill it out, color it, and then return it. So I like that this is collaborative in nature and people are able to, we can all sort of make a mural together as a community. I think that's nice. So we're not quite done with it yet. We're still waiting on a few squares to come back to us, but it is beautiful so far. And if we want to head to the next slide. Thank you. So one of the things that Melanie did a great job on was creating these little take-home kits. So the ones that have already gone out are the skeleton and the tombstone for Halloween. These just flew out. I mean, once they were out on the desk, people grabbed them very quickly. And then an upcoming one is a bottle brush ornament. That's not exactly what it'll look like necessarily, but it's an example. So those have been really exciting. People really seem to enjoy them. And then Melanie made a really good TikTok. So if we want to click on that.
Am I still sharing? Okay.
It might be a lot for the program to handle just because there's a lot of movement.
You can find
But
us
I
on
promise, it's
TikTok.
cute. Yes, I
We
highly
can't get,
recommend
I think
it.
we got the idea. At least I could see it.
Yeah, it was, I think it's just a lot of movement for the screen to handle. But luckily these are screenshots. So this is just to give you an idea of the type of TikToks that we've been creating. So the nice thing about TikTok is that they're engaging, they reach a wider audience. And I think they make us a little bit more relatable and less scary. And TikTok has a surprisingly robust video editor for what it is for an app. So even if I'm not necessarily looking for something to reach a wide audience on TikTok, I can create a video using the TikTok app and then share it to our Facebook, our Instagram, anything like that. I try to use, the algorithm is a little bit weird, so it promotes a lot of content based off of the sound that you use, based off the length of the video, and based off of what your friends are watching. So I try to create short videos because the algorithm promotes those far more. And I try to use sounds that are trending right now because that just tends to grab more attention. And also I have noticed that if I like one of our TikToks from my personal account, it will show that TikTok from our library to my friends, my followers. So it's a really good way of reaching people as long as you get that initial like. The algorithm works very differently from other social media. I'm not entirely sure why they put it together this way, but it has been interesting to learn about it a little bit. I get a lot of the ideas for it from other library TikTok accounts and from, like I said, whatever's trending at the moment. I don't know that link is going to play. So I'll just say it was an example of a way that we were able to connect with another library over TikTok, which is why I included it. I think it's been neat to interact with other library TikTok accounts and to see how they serve their patrons versus how we serve our patrons. So we can try that link. I'm not sure if it's gonna behave for us. It's kind of there. So yeah, that was a duet with another library's TikTok. I just noticed that they had library guinea pigs, and we have a library guinea pig. So it was a fun way of interacting with them. And now we follow each other. We kind of like each other's content, and they will actually comment on our posts from time to time. So that has been really interesting. And then if we want to head on to the next slide. So our blog, we've kind of been trying to bolster this recently, put a few more posts on them more frequently. The nice thing about the blog is that we're able to promote things that aren't just our materials. It's showing the public that we have a lot of resources that are at their disposal. And we are also able to promote community events and community resources. So it shows that we have an investment in North Liberty and not just ourselves as an organization. So we're able to promote local businesses, local events, Iowa City events if they come up. So that's another thing that we have been working on. And I think that is all I have on my end.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. Do you guys have any questions so far for Danny or what she talked about? My dog's kind of rude. All right, so we'll move on to what I was going to talk about. Something that we were able to start this summer was the Adventure Pass program. And this was is something that's been going on with libraries in Iowa the last several years, and something I've kind of been I don't know, I keep bringing it up as something I would like to see our library do. And we finally were able to do that this year through the Summer Slate initiative with the city, and something that the library plans to continue on. The Adventure Pass program, we were able to select as many of the Iowa attractions that are included in the program as we wanted to or were able to. So this year we had a budget of, I think it was about $1,500, and we decided to do 2 passes. So that was for four individuals to the Blank Park Zoo. Then we did 2 passes to the Science Center of Iowa, and that again was for 4 individuals. We selected the Ryman Gardens. Again, those are good for like 4 individuals. and then the African American Museum of Iowa. So something that we hope to see in the future is a lot of the available attractions. We're closer to the Des Moines area or a little bit further out. So we really would like to see organizations or places closer to us be involved, that we can offer passes to patrons that are a little bit closer to home if they don't have that ability to travel. But this was a great first start. I'm trying to think, I haven't taken an overall statistics, but monthly it's been about 30 pass uses. So that's 30, that would be during the summer. So the last couple months it's been a little bit less, but so then you would multiply that by, I don't know, 3 to 4 people, depending, because we didn't get to see how many people use the pass. We just saw that the pass was reserved that many times a month for the various places. So definitely something that we have been happy with and hoped to offer going forward. The pass works that patrons in the North Liberty community with a library card. We're able to use their library card to reserve a pass to one of the locations. And they can visit each of the places per card once a year. So that's been a great program that we've had to offer this year. And then the next thing that I have been working on, one of my goals this year was to do some updates to our website and our newsletter. So this is on the left-hand side is our previous version of our newsletter. We got it updated a little bit when the logo changed, but otherwise, whenever like our tabs along the top changed, that hadn't been updated in a while. And it was just time to be freshened up. So having Danny on board has allowed me to have a little bit more time to poke around and update these things. Our previous one, while great, was created by Maudience, and now that I've had some time to mess around with MailChimp, I figured out how to create a new template. Very similar template. It's just, it opens with a little bit of a letter, and then it goes into the individual highlights for the month. This is just a snippet photo of our most current newsletter and then a past issue to just give you an idea of how that looks. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is our trunk or treat that's coming up. We've done this one, oh gosh, I can't even think how many years we've had it now. We didn't have it last year, but we're back this year and we're doing the trunk or treat trail in hopes of allowing additional space to spread people out since we get quite a large crowd. So kiddos and their guardians will line up along Cherry Street toward the trail back behind the community center between Cherry and Penn Street where the ferry doors are. So they'll end up walking down the trail, and then they'll end kind of in the middle, at the middle of the trail before you, like right by the rec center, there's a sidewalk that comes back up. So they'll come back up, and then the rec center is actually opening their haunted happenings event with less scare, I think, for the littler kids. So that event will be next Friday morning. And I'm sad, but this will be the first year that I'm actually going to miss it. And Danny got a call last week while I was out, and the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is going to come. They were very thrilled to be a part of it. So I will look forward to seeing the pictures and be sad that I am going to miss the event this year because it's one of my favorites. Halloween's my favorite time of year. So and then the other thing that I've been working on, and I'm not sure that we have any images pulled up. Nope. Was kind of just doing some basic updates on the website. Oh, let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Oops. So right now I'm going to be working on getting some quotes to hopefully build in kind of a website, more of an overhaul in the next couple of years. But in the meantime, I just was able to, I don't know, the more I mess with WordPress, the more I figure things out and how the back end works. So I went through and updated some of the tabs along the top. And unfortunately, I don't have a like before and after to show you kind of what happened, but we kind of combined more like things. So use the library has get a library card, access your account. You can see, search the catalog, the request places, contact form. Under programs, it talks about the different age groups and the programs that we have going on. And then resources are just our databases. So here's a few flyouts. And if you click on the resources, it takes you to all of them. Staff and volunteers. Click on this, takes you to the blog. And then I pulled the podcasts, the link to the podcast as a more visible spot up here. And then I'm trying to think what's back. Oh, that's the last one. So you know, while we're not doing a complete overhaul, it's been nice to kind of arrange things and hopefully make them a little bit easier for folks to access when they visit our website. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else website related that was updated. My audience is in the process of kind of updating our WordPress format. That is outdated, I'm told. I am kind of a learn as I go. So they're kind of fixing that in the meantime. And let me think if we've got anything else that I was going to talk about. Nope, I think that is it. Did you guys have any questions for me? All right. Well, I'll just end by saying that as always, if you want to help us out in the marketing department, and I know many of you already do, so this goes without saying, but that, you know, sharing and interacting with our content helps us to spread our word and our message and what we have to offer. And if you know folks that might be interested in something that we've shared or going on, always help us out and give it a share or tell them about it. Otherwise, thank you guys. And it's been good to say hi virtually. Danny, do you have anything else to say?
I don't think so, but thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Jen, you want to take over then about all the other reports?
Yes, Melanie needs up. You want to unshare, and you guys don't have to stick around. Oh, I think she's logging off. Nope.
Sorry, I'll try to figure it out here.
And I have to actually do this without looking at my camera because I have one little screen here in my hotel room. So give me a second to minimize my stuff and get up I brought up my staff reports, so I will get to that. So financials are always the first thing on the list. And as always, they don't really change much. I can't see the personnel files, so I have to trust that we are in good shape with personnel because it is not, they're not cooperating yet, or they're not in tune with each other. So I can't see where we are until the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen this year or not, but I didn't realize it wasn't going to be part of it to begin with. So our average is 25%. As always, we're a little bit over in different areas just from the way we spend at the big top heavy at the beginning of the year. We're about 30% in the materials and services, or 31%, 27 in contractual materials, and then the 54% in the repair and maintenance, which also includes our software contracts with our Polaris, which is a lot of money. So that is why that's so top heavy there at 54%, because that is all paid out already. So does anybody have any questions, or does anything stand out to you guys in the financials that I can answer? All right, so I can just move on if you like to my reports. We have onboarded 3 new staff members this month. It's been going really, really well. We have 2 new high school students who are working with us. One of them is actually interested in librarianship, so we're excited to have her, both of them on board. They're both fantastic and have been working out really well. And then we have another library assistant who came to us from ILA. He's already very quick and well trained, so they are all assimilating well with the rest of the staff. And we are back to fully staffed. Cross my fingers again. I'm hoping that will stay that way for a while this time. People just get opportunities and other things come up. So the other thing we are working on, I wanted to, we will be presenting on Thursday, Emily and Kelly and I at ARSL on establishing what we're calling a JEDI policy commitment instead of a statement. We had initially called it a statement. It's even written that way here, but we're changing that to commitment, which is just saying that we want to have our policies be inclusive. So JEDI stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And then we would add the word belonging to that as well. When folks come in the library, we want to make sure that we're looking through the lens of all of our users, and not only letting them know that we see them, but we hear them, we hear what they say, and that we want them to be a part at the table with how we operate, including policy development. So it's our goal to make this all very open processes and to always create that fabric as part of the way our culture is in the library. So it's twofold. We're getting ready to present, and as we've done that, we've kind of evolved how we're looking at policies, and you'll see that reflected as we introduce different policies to you every month, and you'll see that reflected actually tonight. So when we get to the meeting room policy, I'll show you some examples of that. Also, our staff in-service is coming up November 12th. We're really excited about this in-service. Nick Shimon from West Branch is going to present to us via Zoom, and he's going to talk to us just about motivation, both for ourselves and for helping motivate other people. Basically, you know, COVID has sort of brought on a lot of different feelings and stresses and anxieties, and he did this talk at the Iowa Library Association conference, and I really liked it. He and I partner quite a bit on other things, so I asked him if he would be willing to come, and he can't be there physically because he has some other things going on, commitments in the morning when I wanted him to come in. So he asked if he could Zoom in. So he'll be presenting via Zoom. Then United Action for Youth is coming to revisit what they've already told us about youth, but just to reaffirm and reestablish that connection with. And we've got some new staff who will be able to attend in the morning, how we work with youth and how we talk to them. And again, that goes back to that inclusive environment. And finally, Jillian Rutledge, who's from the Waterloo Public Library, is going to present on just creating a culture of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging and talk to us about some of the things that they've been doing. So we're very excited about that day. And in between times, we'll have a little time at our desk and sometimes to do some cleaning and spring cleaning, which means getting rid of some things that are filling cupboards. When we all share a space, it's like having 11 people living in your house or 17 people living in your house, depending on the given day. So the next thing on there is the budget timeline. I just wanted to mention that is coming up again. We are in fact, I think it's November 12th, our budgets are due to Ryan and Tracy. There's a couple potential capital projects that I'm working on right now. I'm talking with Shive Hattery, who is we're contracted with to look at both acoustical panels for that main hallway, which is something I've been having a goal to do for a long time. They're very pricey. So I have somebody from the architect, one of their architectural people, design people coming in, and she came in and looked at our hallway, and she is doing some investigating. Right now they're contracted to just investigate and advise. If it goes beyond that, then there's a little bit of additional monies involved. So we'll see what happens. The other thing we want to do and have been wanting to do actually since we opened is to overhaul our circulation desk. As with lots of things, it seemed really good when it was on paper. It is not as versatile and as flexible as we would like. We'd like to have a smaller circulation area with like 3 different small desks instead of this big, huge desk, and have them be, at least 2 of them be mobile so that we can move them around a little bit and shift space depending on what we're doing and how we're interacting with people. So those are a couple things that are coming down the pike. We're hoping to add to that. And really for this next year, that's the main things we're looking at besides our normal general, just 5% increase. The next thing is we are just opening our minds, I guess is the correct word. We're about 5th year into Polaris, and we still like Polaris quite a bit, but Insignia Software, which is the company that we had before Polaris, actually reached out to me and asked if they could demo their product, which has gone over a pretty big evolution. They did a demonstration for us. We're not probably going to jump onto getting into a new software at this time, but we're just at the end of that 5-year stage, which is what Polaris charged out for us or contracted out for us. Of course, they'll continue to bill us every year if we want to stick with them. Those bills don't change a lot, but they do go up, will increase a little bit. So we'll see where we are. And the thing with Insignia is that it's so inexpensive that we could buy Insignia for the amount that we spend annually on Polaris. And the annual cost is much less expensive, but there's also then the concern that it won't do everything we want it to do. So we're still reviewing and looking at that. We just want to keep our minds open to the possibilities that are out there. If we did look at doing something like that, we would certainly look at more than just Insignia. We would look a little further and see what else is available for us. Does anyone have any questions so far? I can't see any of you since I'm looking at my outline or my packet. So you might have to just halt me if you have anything you want to ask, just interrupt. On the community update, I just wanted to put this out there because it is so wonderful. We have our first youth artist exhibiting at the library right now. Her name is Liana Rocco, and she's from Solon. Her art is amazing. I think they've put some pieces on Facebook already, but if you haven't had a chance to, on our Facebook page, but if you haven't had a chance to come in the library to look at it, I would highly recommend coming in. I mean, we have lots of fun artists. It's just very fun to see her talent on the wall and in the case. And then professional activities, I did let you guys know that I was running for president or vice president, president-elect for ARSL, and I did win that election. So I am the incoming vice president for 2022. That's where I am right now. So they will be announcing that. They already did announce it over the list, but they'll be introducing us, and I will attend my first meeting in that role on Saturday this week. So I'm really excited about it. And a little bit nervous about the work, but it'll be good. I have lots of really good people supporting me. So, and then I also did run for the executive board for the Iowa Library Association conference. The elections are underway for that right now. So we will see where that comes. I was promoting the other people who ran while we were at conference, hoping people would vote for them instead of me, but we'll see. I think I can balance them both. That is mostly online meetings for ILA. So ILA was last week, the Iowa Library Association conference in Des Moines. It was probably one of the best Iowa Library Association conferences I've attended in the last 10 years, I would say. Really, really good conference. We had author Doug Griffiths present. He is the author of 13 Ways to Kill Your Community, which is a fantastic book just about what we need to do to keep our communities vibrant. And then Bailey Hutchison, who is a good friend of mine from ARSL, presented in the morning on other duties as assigned, just all the things that librarians do and how you don't realize what you're getting yourself into sometimes when you become a librarian, as Bailey was what she called an accidental librarian. And then I just attended several sessions. One was on library board engagement that was really good. I'll share some more about that with you guys at later meetings. I think there's some really good tips and things on advocacy and also just on just general engagement for boards. And then the minute management through celebration was the one that Nick Shimon did, which he'll do for us at our in-service in a few weeks. And then I attended the Diversity Unconference, which was also where I spoke with Jillian Rutledge about the work she's doing in Waterloo. And there were some other conferences or highlights too, but those 3 sessions were my favorites of the ones that I attended. And then we come to the rest of the staff reports. So if anyone has any questions, please do let me know. We are trying to talk to you guys a little bit about she wrote in there about the Library and Resilient Communities Gathering. That is the research project that Kara Luxon from the Iowa City Public Library, who's retired from there and works at the university now, is doing with a couple other fellow researchers, and they have invited us in to be at the table for that. I am very, very excited about this project. And I even talked with Doug Griffiths, the author, about this because it is right up his alley. And so I think there's some future potential partnerships there. And Kelly has been going great guns with grant writing with Dara Stewart, who's one of our new library assistants, and Amy Blessing, who's an intern, social work intern for us. They've been meeting almost weekly to talk about grants, and they've submitted multiple grants for us. So we're pretty excited about that. If anybody has any other questions, please chime in and I will try to answer them.
I just wanted to verify there was not a Friends meeting to report on.
There was not. I'm sorry about that. I meant to say that, but no, we didn't have a Friends meeting this month. They're a little bit sporadic right now since we're not really able to do much. I think they will try to, they're going to do the Santa, not the Santa walk, but the cookie walk. It's going to look a little different this year. They're going to probably pre-plate all the cookies and sell them pre-plated rather than having people walking through and potentially touching them. And so it's going to look a little different. And we're also, Matt invited us to be either in the gym or in the Rexter room instead of in the library. They were a little hesitant about that, but I think they've come around to the idea.
Great. Anyone else have staff report questions? Nope. Lots of shaking of heads no. All right, should we move on to the meeting rooms use policy review? Jenny, you said you had something to point out on there as far as JEDI is concerned.
Yeah, I've included both the edited one and the former one. Some of the changes are just tweaks to make it a little more, there were a couple places where things were repeated. The one being where you see Emily commented on, does it need to be in there twice? So we edited that to, there was 2 different points that had similar stuff about the tear down responsibilities. So we brought those together. And then adding just about the library sponsorship that they can apply, that libraries are part of co-sponsoring or sponsoring events unless that's been prearranged. And then finally is under the please note at the very end. And this was something that another library had when we were going through the inclusion and diversity research for what we're doing now. I really, really liked adding this sentence in here. This one of the things that we discovered during our research is that libraries have a sort of an obligation to not be neutral when it comes to social justice and to leveling that playing field for equity and inclusion. And so this is one area that we feel is really important, that we take sort of a stand with ensuring that people are all treated fairly and equally. And that is why we are hoping to add this phrase into the policy.
Great. Does anyone have any questions about the proposed changes?
I like the changes. I thought that was a really nice addition. The only thing I picked out, which is extremely picky grammatical, is in the first page in the bullet points. There's a few that don't have periods at the end of the sentence, but most of them do.
Well, I thought we took all the periods out.
There's probably more than not.
Are you looking at the edited one though?
I bet I was looking at the first one and then I looked at both of them. Maybe I missed that.
So, and I think, yeah, because I'm looking at it right now and there's none. We noticed that too.
Okay.
We just
Sorry
took it
about
out
that
of
then.
them rather than putting it in.
Okay.
All right, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the updated and edited meeting rooms use policy?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Thank you, Heidi. Anyone want the second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed the same. All right, so moved. We will add that note and make those couple changes and update that meeting rooms use policy. And do we have any old or new business? Nothing I'd forgotten to put in? No? All right. Well then, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn our October meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. All right, well then, all in favor of being done for this month?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well,
Thanks,
our next meeting
everybody.
is scheduled November 15th.
Sounds
So,
great.
I guess I'm assuming we'll still meet on Zoom, Jenny, or?
Unless something changes drastically in our world, which I don't.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for zooming in from Reno. Enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thank you. You guys have a great week.
Yes.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.